Here we go. Okay. Your event is starting. Hello, and welcome to the Dash News podcast. This is episode 117. I'm Mark Mason, and I'm joined by my fellow co-host, Joel Valenzuela. How's it going, Joel?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you?
It's great. It's Friday. The weekend has landed. And we've got a special guest on the podcast this week. I've actually
really?
I've wanted to get him on.
We never have those, do we?
Well, this guest in particular,
not special ones.
I've wanted him to come on for a long time, and we've tried, but it's been difficult to sync up with dates because it is Omer Batan from the Dash Embassy Turkey. Batan, like Batman. So you're like the Turkish Batman, is that right?
Yeah, it is right. Without the M, though.
Yeah. Excellent. Welcome to the podcast. Happy Friday.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me. It's an honor to be here, finally.
Yeah, like I have so many questions because obviously you had a Dash proposal. We can get to that later on down the line. I've had many community members ask me, what's going on with Dash Turkey? And I think let's just start off by talking about Turkey in general, because Turkey, in the news from on my side of the pond, says that there's like a financial crisis. There's issues with the Turkish lira, the currency. So can you help us like paint a picture? What is actually happening in Turkey for the average person? Is the financial crisis as bad as the media makes out?
So, Turkey is a very unique country and has been going through a lot recently. So, Turkey was one of the fastest growing economies in the world like a couple years ago, but this was mainly fueled by foreign currency debt. So, and when you get foreign currency debt a lot, like in Turkey's case, like you end up with a deficit in both your fiscal and current accounts, right? And unfortunately, Turkey, Turkey doesn't have enough large reserves to rescue its economy right now. So when you don't have these reserves in hand and when things go south, this is the problem that you're going to face. Like right now in Turkey, things are quite difficult. People are going through I'm going to define it as a economical crisis, like a financial crisis, in a way, because when you look at the interest rate, even though the central bank right now is trying to lower the interest rates, the inflation is at 3 times than what they have targeted. So something is failing here, right? So when we look at the interest rate, Turkey is still in the top 10 with 19.75%, which is around 20%. That's a lot. And the forecasted inflation rate is, I believe, around 16%. We also have a problem here called unemployment. So the unemployment rate is around 15%. And what's most unfortunate is that the young unemployment rate here is 24%. So 1 out of every 4 Turkish young adult is unemployed. So all of this combined and having your own local currency being constantly devaluated, and although it's having a small relief rally right now, I don't think it's sustainable, because we know that Turkey has depleted around $1 billion in foreign reserve currencies, so that's going to have a hit on the economy. And when you combine all these, you have economic and financial money problem. Unfortunately,
what's it like for the average person? Do they still have access to their bank accounts? Is the inflation crazy volatile, like we see the hyperinflation in Venezuela? Like where one day it's this rate, the next day it's not. So you said there's some sort of stabilization, but how the average person on the street, do they still have access to their bank account? How are they? Are people really suffering on the ground?
People are like the question, the answer for that question is yes and no. So internally, like Turkey has one of the most advanced banking systems. Like the banking industry is maybe years ahead of what we have, what is present in the United States. So, um, you know, people don't have problems accessing their bank accounts. They have problems trying to pay back their debt. They have problems trying to fight a wild interest rate. Because they're having problem when it comes to, because like imagine one day, like everything in terms of the pricing of every good and service that you can find here in Turkey is increasing. So if you just hold on, let's say you buy corn, right? You hold on corn, and let's say it won't go bad in 3-4 months or 5 months. You can just sell the corn to anybody, and you will make a profit. So inflation is crazy, interest rates are crazy.
Wow.
The central bank is trying to do something, but whatever they tackle, new stuff happens. We're fortunate enough, like we're not like Iran, because they're like the U.S. is having sanctions on them, but Turkey has its own problems, and right, like recently they're talking about some S-400, stuff like news going on right now. So every news, every tweet from Trump, shakes the economy. So whenever Trump and America sneezes, or stuff happens globally, Turkey's like, what's happening, what's going to happen. People are very, in a state of awareness level, because like when you compare the average Turkish person to the average American or the European, the Turkish person has learned how to deal with high inflation, high interest rates, but most of us globally don't. So, but when it comes to banking, yes, people can access their money. They can open accounts, they can send money, they can receive money. Yes, there is a fee for that. There is sometimes documentation needed to open an account and stuff like that. But Turkey has different problems, not internal problems, external macro problems, I believe.
Interesting. And how do most people spend their money? Is it mostly physical cash heavy, or are people paying via debit cards, credit cards? How do people pay commerce wise in Turkey?
Yeah, actually, Turkey is one of the fastest growing cashless economies. People are very used to using their smartphones to do payments, transfers, even credit cards. Like people are getting very used to use like their smartphones. Just beep, and then you just pay it. And with right now smartphone, you can do everything with smartphones. So, and having very advanced banking here in Turkey, people can send and receive money internally, like very fast, very cheap. So yeah, I'll say cash 40%, credit cards mostly, and then mobile payments.
So as far as these payment apps, what I'm always trying to think of is obviously compare fees and things like that, but also compare hidden fees. So for example, if I had a payment app with a major bank in Turkey, what percent, like, so I can free and instant send money to other customers of that same bank, correct?
That is correct, yes.
Now,
Mostly,
what about another bank?
yeah, that gets tricky. Like internally, like if both of you, both parties have the same account in this, like in using the same bank, you guys can send and receive money instantly. Some do charge fees, some don't, but most don't. But when it comes to sending money outside the bank that you are using, that gets a little tricky. Some banks allow you to send money freely. They give you like a window, like let's say like all from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. or 5 p.m. And if you try to send funds after that, the funds will be sent the next day. If you send that transfer at, let's say, 4:59, and they close at 5, so it will go through. Some charge fees, some don't.
Excellent.
So as far as having a bank account, how easy is it to get a bank account, and what are the fees associated? Now, of course, in the US, they have a lot of free checking accounts, but you have to maintain a certain balance, and there's a whole bunch of other little things that get in the way of the basically end up charging you.
Yeah, absolutely. In Turkey, like I said, it depends. Like the top 10 most successful companies in Turkey, like the seven of the top 10 is banks. So you'll have this bank A, B, C, D. They're all banks, and then at number 7 or 8, you will have a different company from a different industry. Like when it comes to banking, Turkey is quite advanced. Some banks ask very few documentation, like your ID card, your credit rating, and your credit score. And some don't. Some ask, but I believe most of them ask for your ID card, your and proof of residency, proof of location, proof of having proof of employment, stuff like that.
So there's not many unbanked in the country.
Yes. Yeah. Like I said, Turkey isn't like Venezuela. It's totally different. Like Turkey has its own unique problems. Venezuela has its own unique problems. And as Dash Embassy Turkey, I believe like Dash and cryptocurrencies in general, but especially governance projects like Dash have a very unique property in them because this is a technology that is disruptive, and I believe like this technology is adaptable. So let's say in Venezuela, people can't open a bank account, people can't transact with their own currency and stuff like that. For Venezuela, banking will be Dash will be your bank. In America, Dash will be your method to send funds outside the country. Let's say for Germany, it will be remittance. For Turkey, it will be a digital cash, or like something like. I believe since this is relatively new and like very disruptive, it's wrong to put borders on this technology. I don't know if you guys agree.
How is cryptocurrency seen in Turkey? Is there much adoption there? Are people aware of Bitcoin, or is it completely new to everyone? Is it like a complete fresh canvas?
Yeah, when we had that price surge in Bitcoin in the bull run in 2017, everybody heard about Bitcoin. So a lot of people are using cryptocurrencies, but they value them as a speculative instrument. They like to they use it for trading more than more than day-to-day activities for payments and stuff like that. When there was a study, I believe in 2018, done by ING Bank. So they had an international survey, and I believe in Europe, Turkey was one of the countries that used cryptocurrency more than any other European country out there, because like the problems that I just mentioned, having a high inflation rate, unstable economy, interest rate, and unemployment rate. People, this is scary. Like I'm talking like this is something very quite normal because I'm used to it. But these numbers are scary numbers, and people, this like basically like I come from a financial background, and if you want to determine if a country is going through some critical times, like financially, just compare their own local currency to gold, because it's the most known secure hard money out there. So if you just Google XAU, XAU at this gold, and to Turkish lira, TRY, you will see that gold has secured the value of people. Gold has secured. Gold has protected the Turkish people from inflation over time. Even though gold in U.S. terms, in USD terms, it went down, up, stuff like that. But in Turkish terms, it only went up.
So are people buying gold in the street? Are people switched on to gold right now? Is there a big gold market?
There is a big gold market, and a lot of hedge funds since recently, like 2-3 months ago, I know that a lot of hedge funds here in Turkey are investing in gold and also cryptocurrencies, because cryptocurrencies have the same property, and people are using them to protect themselves from inflation, and it has been working quite well.
So we just established that cryptocurrency, according to that ING report, is being widely used in Turkey. So
yes.
So does that mean, in the eyes of the government, they're okay with cryptocurrency? They haven't been demonizing it? They haven't been stamping down on it? Or is that a touchy subject? Because
no. Cryptocurrency has not been banned. There are studies in order to make it more accessible to the general public, and also like anywhere in the world, like they're trying to regulate it in a manner. So there's no demonizing of cryptocurrencies. Around 20% of the entire population owns cryptocurrencies in Turkey, according to that ING study. And I believe 50% believes or thinks that they will own some sort of cryptocurrency in the future, and majority of the participants believe that cryptocurrency is the future of spending online. So people are pro crypto here in Turkey, not the other way around.
Would you say that they're utilizing cryptocurrency mostly as a safe haven asset to protect them from inflation?
Yes, that is correct. Also for speculation, trading, trying to make money, because we all know that crypto is a very volatile market, and there you can make money, you can lose money, but just like I believe a couple days ago in, was it Brazil or Venezuela, correct me if I'm wrong, like Bitcoin skyrocketed to its new all-time highs or stuff. What was it? Which country was that? I'm not sure, but something like that happened. So when there's like a lot of financial turmoil, financial crisis happening, and when people are in doubt, that they tend to seek alternatives, and cryptocurrency has been the answer.
Interesting. We've got a question in the live chat. It says, are hedge funds in Turkey allowed to invest in crypto? Do you know that? I'm guessing that's obviously a regulation thing, so it's very specific. So I don't know if you know off the top of your head.
Yeah,
but
very specific. Yeah, I don't think that we haven't touched that subject yet, but we're trying to. I think there's a lot of gray areas, like, because even like it's a hard topic. Like it's not black and white. It's not easy to call, but they're working on it. It's an ongoing process. But I can say for general people, we have a lot of ATMs opening up here that supports Dash and other cryptocurrencies as well, and a lot of exchanges are opening up as well in Turkey. So people are pro crypto, since everyone was like very afraid of cryptocurrency going to zero. Like Dash will go to zero, Bitcoin will die, and stuff like that. But that didn't happen. So crypto just regained its throne.
So it's got it's the revolutionary status, right? People are doing it because they believe, because they've got no option, right? So they need something to believe in. But how, if cryptocurrency is as popular in Turkey as you say it is, it's got to be easy and accessible to get hold of, right? So I'm guessing you've got numerous exchanges in Turkey.
Yes. I believe we have around 60 to 65 exchanges in Turkey. Several of them are accepting Dash. They're listing Dash, Turkish lira pairs on their platforms. And we're also, as Dash Turkey, we're talking with one of the biggest exchanges here in Turkey. So they will be, hopefully, as we grow the community here, they will be adopting and integrating Dash on their platform, and they will list a Dash Turkish lira pair, who will be one of the biggest well-known crypto exchanges. They're entering the Turkish market, so that's a big deal here. Access to cryptocurrency is easy. A lot of people are using it, but like I said, mainly for some use it. Some utilize Dash and other cryptocurrencies for remittance purposes, to send funds and receive funds in and out of Turkey. But most, I believe, like 88-90% use it for trading.
Wow. It's interesting that you mentioned hedge funds at the start of the podcast, and that the hedge funds in Turkey buying gold and everything else, and trading as well, because Dash is actually the perfect crypto to trade currencies. And hopefully we'll have a Dash to gold trading pair soon. So maybe that could be utilized. But Joel, why is Dash so perfect for trading?
It's incent. Next question.
Yeah, but arbitrage trading opportunities.
To lean into that real quick. First off, trading rather than just buying and holding, for example, necessitates a lot of good timing. And sometimes, especially if you're a day trader, you're trying to do in and out. But when there's a price crash or there's a price spike, you want to be able to move money quickly. So what a lot of traders do is they have their funds on exchanges, which then, get hacked, or the exchange goes under, or whatever. Not your keys, not your crypto, that whole thing. Just so they don't miss out on these sorts of things. Or they're properly paranoid, I would say, and they keep them off exchanges until they want to make a trade. And by that time, it could be too late. But if you deposit Dash and the exchange is smart enough to recognize instant send, you can get in on something right away, trade, and get it right off. And then there's a few different platforms that are kind of taking advantage of this sort of idea. So, for example, the famous crypto YouTuber Da Vinci Jeremy, who I chatted with a few months back, he has this wallet called Pandora's Wallet that just hooks in. It's like a wallet that you keep your own private keys. It hooks into all the exchanges. So you want to make a trade, you do it from the wallet. It sends to the exchange. You make the trade, and it sends back to private keys you own, which is a little bit of an ugly hack if you're not using Dash, especially. But I was also talking to Voyager, which is another trading app that's, I'd hope, from the way it's working. People have been talking smack about they're going to eat Coinbase's lunch, which I wouldn't mind, but they're working on some solution that allows customers to actually hold control over their own keys while still trading on the platform without doing withdrawal fees every time and things like that, which I'll have to dig in deeper at some point. But all that kind of stuff, it's just so much easier with Dash because it's instant. You can just send on the exchange, do what you want, get it off there right away.
Exactly. As I forgot to introduce myself, or I can't remember if Mark asked, but I graduated from University of Colorado. I'm a finance major, so I define myself as a trader and a business person. So I've been a trader for like 10 years now. And 3.5 years I've been trading full-time, mostly cryptocurrencies. And timing the bottoms, selling the tops is extremely hard, especially if you're day trading. So trusting a third party where this entire crypto movement was about being your own bank, and securing your own funds, controlling your own wealth. It's a very important topic. People need to be educated about this before they dive into exchanges with their entire life's savings, and just get wrecked, and then turn into a crypto hater.
Do you think your time in the US and Turkey has given you a better, bigger perspective? You're able to reflect a lot better because you've been in the US, you've been in Turkey. That gives you a whole new outlook.
Sure, I have always been like a multinational, multicultural person. So, like 50%, like if I had to like define myself, like are you an American or are you a Turk? Like I'll say 50-50 because like half of my life was in the States and the other half was in Turkey. So I definitely have that global view. And what we're trying to do with Dash here is that since Turkey is going through a lot of stuff right now, we as Dash Turkey, we're trying to introduce and offer an option, like a door, a red pill, you might say, to the people that are tired of having certain things being forced upon them, like such as the trade wars that are going on right now, or the sanctions and stuff like that. Our role here is to politely teach them that there's a way that they can opt out from this monopoly, from the system, from this kleptocratic, entities or governments or whatever they had to tolerate. They don't have to tolerate anymore because we have cryptocurrencies, we have Dash. It's instant. There's no fee. You can send money to a relative if you have in the States, or a friend in Germany. You can receive funds everywhere. There's nobody that can stop this. There is no government that can, if you keep your private key safe, there's no third party that can step in and say, hey, this is my money, or this, I'm just going to seize it. It's unseizable.
So you came to the Dash treasury, I think it was at the start of this year, right? Because you haven't you haven't seat funding for quite a few months now. So let's talk about Dash Embassy Turkey and what the mission objective is. Is it that you want to do business development, you want to onboard merchants, you want to get on exchanges, or as you were just saying, you want to engage with education for end users and show them that there is another way, there is a better way? What's the ultimate plan?
So, like I said in the beginning of this podcast, I believe that relatively new technology such as cryptocurrency and Dash as well, because Dash is growing so fast now. We have master nodes, we have instant send, we have private send, and a lot of different features are coming in. We have chain locks right now, right? A lot of development is happening, and like I said, like I believe like Dash is adaptable to whatever need the country is asking for, right? Like in the States, we still use wires to send money, and it takes a day or two or maybe weeks. It's such a hustle, and then it's really hard. But in Turkey, they don't have this issue, so people can send money amongst themselves like very fast. But in Turkey, people need to hedge themselves against inflation and interest rates. So there's a different need, and we try to, we try to introduce Dash as a medium of exchange for e-commerce, but it's quite hard and difficult. And since even though the Turkish lira is depreciating and losing its value against major currencies, since Dash is in a phase of price discovery, it's really hard to for them to balance and manage their risk, because when you think about it, merchants and businesses, they're trying to hedge against a monster, like inflation and devaluation, stuff like that. And it's when you have the cryptocurrency market, fluctuating harshly, and since the banking industry is quite advanced here, they tend to choose the safer option instead of embracing the the disruptive technology. It's like when internet was.
Do you have the tools though? Because my concern is, I see you've got a website, dashturk.org. It looks good.
Yeah.
It's got information on there. But from a user perspective, for example, does the Dash.org website have good translation as a resource for the Turkish community? And also, does the mobile wallet, does that translate? Is that well? Is it fit for purpose?
Yes, I was the one who translated all that.
Oh, so you're biased.
Yes.
Yes, the translation is amazing.
It's perfect, yes, because I did it. There might be a couple errors, I'll do here. So
can I just say for the record, I did not know that you did that translation. So I just want to put that out there, just for transparency. I did not know that, but I'm thoroughly impressed. Okay.
I was doing a lot of stuff to bring Dash into Turkey in 2017. But Dash wasn't this assembled. Dash wasn't this professional at that time. I'll say, like, it was baby, trying to stay on his feet. Right now, it's a sprinter. It's like right now it's a sprinter. But back then, no other currency was as well. So it was
for the allegory. Definitely, Dash was a little baby, like hitting his head on stuff before. Now, I wouldn't say Dash is quite at the sprinter stage, but it's definitely at that stage where, like, we start to be like 11 or 12 or 13 years old, where they're still kind of a kid, but starting to like think, formulate thoughts, like get their moves under control. Because like I taught martial arts for many years, and it's really hard to get little children to focus. They just they just do whatever. But then there's a certain age when they start to like think like, oh, I'm gonna move to like, I'm gonna start worrying about like faking moves and hitting. I'm gonna start like focusing, and they start looking at like medals and trophies. They're like, in order to start planning from here to there, they start getting serious, right? It's like a mini adult at that point. And so Dash is kind of that mini adult stage where it's not there yet, but it's at the point where it's starting to be like, all right, we're integrated in a lot of these services. We have a game plan. We know our competitive advantage, our disadvantage. We know our competition. We're used to people calling us like names and, oh, you suck, you're not being used anywhere, and know how to respond to that and not just freak out and go, mommy, Evan, and Dash doesn't do that anymore.
Yeah, like when it comes to Dash in Turkey, we tried to do e-commerce. We tried to have merchants integrate Dash. Some do accept Dash, by the way. You can go to Dash, discover Dash, and search for Istanbul or other different cities in Turkey.
About that site. Is it a good site?
It is, I believe so. Isn't it, Mark?
Wow. It's not in Turkish, but yeah. But actually, that's an interesting thing, because I think this is a good opportunity, because like I said, in the community, and I have had some chats with some master owners, and they said, yeah, what is going on with that Dash Turkey thing? Like, what are they doing? Are they going after exchanges? Are they trying to onboard merchants? Do you just want to explain like what you've been up to?
Going after an exit scam?
Yeah, well, because you've been on a bit of a journey, I understand, because you've kind of like switched gears. You've just tried to see what yielded the best results, right?
Exactly. That's what happens. That's what happened basically. So we tried to since I have a business and financial background, I was like, hey, Dash will be integrated to e-commerce and will be widely used, and it's not that easy. It's easy when you're brainstorming and stuff like that, but when you go to meetings, we went to a lot of meetings, and people, they love the technology, they understand it, they understand blockchain, the blockchain behind it, they understand Dash, but since cryptocurrency has been demonized for a very long time, they always have that question mark, and then it was really hard. And then we tried merchant integration, which we are currently working on as well right now. But we have found something very unique for Dash, and that is the gaming industry. If you're going to ask why, that is
hang on.
What?
Let me stop you right there. So you talk about Turkey and the gaming industry. You was just saying, was it 1 in 4 people between the ages of like 18 to 24 don't have a job? There's a financial crisis going on. You've got inflation going on the Turkish lira. Yet you're saying that the Turkish people are crazy about video games, more so than other countries, or just normal? Come on.
I believe a little bit on the excessive side.
Really? I mean, this is interesting.
Gaming is huge here. Like, I know since we're right now we're really into gaming as Dash Turkey, and we have a couple events coming up, which I'm going to talk about later. But I know that from research that the global gaming industry is around 140 billion dollars, something or more 150 billion dollars or something like that, like total market cap. Turkish digital game exports reached $1 billion this year alone,
Wow.
and it's
So
increasing
what you're
rapidly.
saying is, you mean to tell me that the Turkish gaming exports total more than Dash's market cap?
I was going to make that joke. Yeah,
Oh.
yeah. With the current prices right now, I believe that Dash has a market cap of $850 million, right? The gaming industry has more market cap right now, if I'm not wrong. Correct me if I am. We can just go to market.
So do you think people are using gaming in Turkey as a form of escapism because the news is dire, the situation's horrible, so they're just the youth as they immerse themselves into this gaming culture?
Sure. Like I did Muay Thai for a year, Joel. So I'm a kind of martial artist as you as well. Yeah, the elbows and stuff. It's a discipline, and it's a way to just escape. It's a life escape. So people, I'm a gamer myself as well. I game from time to time when I'm very stressful. It's a good escape. It's like going to the gym. It's like going to the beach. It's one of the things that helps them, I believe, control their emotions. And there's nothing wrong about gaming, but we believe that since this young generation was born into the digital era, we believe that the gamers, this industry, our audience is the perfect candidate for Dash. Why? Because these young kids, these young adults were born into the digital age. You can see like 2-3 years old having phones and playing games, and they know how to open a video, search on YouTube and stuff like that. They just get it, instantly. And I believe that when it comes to adoption of Dash in Turkey, the gaming industry and gamers will be the first tile of a row of dominoes. Like once that goes down, remittance will follow. Once remittance goes down, using Dash as Dash will have his part as a digital cash will be utilized not only in gaming economy but in general economy, because like I said, things do not look good, but there is hope for Turkey. But it's kind of depressing, like you said, Mark. Yeah. There's huge potential.
Do you have any experience in the gaming industry in itself? I mean, I guess the one advantage as well with going after gamers is that they're technologically sound, right? They're open to technology and wanted to be on the cutting edge of the latest and greatest tech. So,
yeah. When it comes to gaming, I am a gamer myself. I have been gaming for 4 years now, I believe. But I come from a more financial background, but I can definitely see. No, I was expecting something like this to happen 5-6 years ago, but the gaming industry, blossoming, booming. But it was really hard to convince people that it's like the Facebook or the internet. Hey, no one will use this. No one will use Netflix. Now look at Blockbusters; they're out of business. Now, esports is like it's crazy, and the new generation, they don't want to watch baseball. They don't want to watch football. They don't want to watch anything. They just want to watch people play games.
They don't even want to watch TV. They just want to watch the Dash podcast on YouTube.
I agree.
Yeah, well, not even YouTube. They want to watch it on, what is it, TikTok or whatever the new thing is these days.
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
So yeah, I have noticed in that whole shifting of everything. So, I mean, I've been into martial arts for a long time, watching mixed martial arts a little bit more recently, and I've noticed that now it's 2 major promotions are on the ESPN network. That's all growing up. But supposedly the largest, or by viewership at least, promotion in the world, ONE FC out of Singapore, in addition to having MMA, I remember because one of the champion UFC fighters got signed there to do MMA and e-gaming because he's a big Twitch streamer as well. And so they're having him fight physically and they're having him fight on the games at the same time. He got a big contract for both. And so it's both of that thing is mind-boggling to anyone 10 years ago. That first off, it'd be any kind of combat sport, especially one that's not boxing. And then second, it'd be bundled with like as the same organization that has like real fighting or real sports has fake sports. It's all, the world is so rapidly evolving as it turns out.
Yeah, nobody was expecting having a digital currency to take over the world, right? Nobody expected people to, that they will be watching esports online or YouTube or Netflix, whatever, like 15, 20 years. The people who saw that, they were the pioneers. They were the futurists, and I believe we will be the first people, the front runners here, that will like I said, give the Turkish people an option, a different way, introduce them with a new paradigm.
How are you going to do this? So how are you going to make it reality? I mean, it's great talking about the gaming industry, and clearly in Turkey, there's a real big opportunity here. But like, how are you going to get Dash adopted? Because we've just had the quarterly call with Dash Core Group, and we saw in the biz dev there was lots of e-gaming, sort of gambling, e-gaming options. But like, how are you going to go after the gaming industry in Turkey? Like, how are you going to get Dash through the door?
So right now, you already asked like what do you do with the funds? Like we tried, like I said, we tried to step in different we tried different waters and see which one will be the best fit for Dash, because you can't just for those masternode owners out there that wondering what's going on with Turkey, you can't just use whatever is working for Venezuela and adapt it here. Like I said, it's a totally different world. It's a totally different culture. There are totally different needs, totally different demands as well. So we tried to, like I said, to do e-commerce. It's iffy. Maybe in the future, maybe 2, 3, 4 years later. Too early right now. Merchant integration coming. They're open to it. It's happening. But gaming is a whole different thing. Like they're more open to having a currency that they can send and receive, regardless of having a bank account. Most of the gamers are under the age of 18, which is the legal age here to own a bank account. So they can transact with Dash. And right now we're planning to attend one of the biggest gaming expos, gaming conference in Turkey.
Game X, right?
Yes, Game X. That is right. Game X 2019. This is the biggest gaming expo in Turkey. There's basically the whole thing is about digital gaming and entertainment. I believe they're expecting 200,000 people to come this year, and 60% of this number is in between the ages of 17 and 25. And this is the demographic that I believe that will that are open to adopt cryptocurrencies, and those will be the ones who will carry the flag for Dash here, for the adoption of Dash.
So this is the biggest gaming event. Like, this is a massive expo. It's like the #1 gaming event. I've just dropped the link to the conference in the chat as well, so people can open up, if they're watching this live on YouTube, they can open up a browser and check it out. Don't switch off from the podcast though, don't do that. But they can check that out. So you said 60,000. So this is next month, right? This event?
Yes, we only have maybe 19 days left. So we're trying to get ready. We're 100% focused on this. So 20,000 200,000 people will be exposed to Dash. First
How
time.
you're gonna have a booth?
We're gonna
what's
have
going on?
we're gonna have a big booth there. We will have. I'm planning. We're planning to integrate the app called Aircoins. So there will be treasure hunts. People will be, since it's a gaming expo, people can use their smartphones. They will while they're navigating through the halls and visiting booths, they will be able to collect Dash or other different currencies as well, and they can come to our booth and buy Steam game keys for very cheap, and they will and they can hodl on to whatever's left from the
Wow, that's
treasure
pretty
hunt.
cool. Yeah, I like that.
So with this, they will be able to understand how to send and receive funds because they will be paying a very a very small amount to just understand how to send and receive funds using QR or the wallet address.
How are you gonna do the Steam though? Is that through like Bit Refill or like for a voucher provider, or is this for something else?
There's basically you can purchase certain what's it called, keys for certain games. So if you buy in bulk, it's relatively cheap. Steam offers you like a random selection, so you don't know what's going to come out from that key, but once you insert it into the Steam application, the program,
Steam engine.
Steam engine. There you go. That was the word that I was looking for. Once you paste that in the Steam engine, it pops out. It's like purchasing a game, but it's basically free. So free for them. The title will be a surprise for them, but they will be introduced to Dash through this, and we will also have big giveaways. And there is a ATM company called IQ Cash Now. I'm sure whoever is following Dash, they heard about them, and they will be joining us as well. So they will also be introduced to how to use an ATM with Dash. And
so you're going to have an IQ Cash Now ATM at the booth as well. So you're gamifying people's experience of Aircoins that they can collect. Then the Dash that they collect, they can exchange for gaming vouchers on Steam to buy PC games or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And also they can see and experience the ATM as well. There's quite a few ATMs in Istanbul, right? Is that right?
There is actually around Turkey, like even in different cities, there are, I believe, around 36 to 40 different ATMs, and 18 to 20 of them are actively being used on a daily basis. So they're increasing in number, though. So we will have one in during the expo, and we will have giveaways, like I said, big giveaways though, and we will have a cosplayer coming in dressed as a banker from the game Payday 2. Like they're actually robbers, but we're gonna make them bankers because bankers are trying to rob us, and Dash will be the protection. Dash will be the good guys.
And of course, that's perfect for the audience there that are young gamers, and that's their thing. Okay, yeah, that sounds really cool. Will you have time to network? Because looking at this event, you've got gaming studios there as well. And from the looks of it, you've got like payment processors for the gaming industry that might be attending as well. So you're going to use this as a business development opportunity as well to network.
Sure, exactly. There are very big names coming this year. If you can check their website, you can see those big names that attended on the previous years, and this time I believe there are there are even bigger names joining this expo. So a lot of business opportunity, a lot of room to grow Dash in Turkey, and a lot of exposure to our young audience here.
Yeah, it's huge. I mean, there's not just the cosplay contest, there's comic conferences, robot
Hmm.
and drone competitions,
Yeah,
indie
they
development
sumo
area
wrestle
for
them.
developers,
They sumo wrestle robots. They can even
tournaments.
use. Yeah, they can even. Yeah, we're actually planning to maybe add a tournament in a way, like, and the prize pool will be paid in Dash to the winners and stuff like that. We will have mini games as well. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be. It's exciting. Yeah.
So, is your ultimate dream if you could wave a wand and have the ultimate conference experience? Would it be to work with some gaming studios to integrate Dash, or do you want to go direct to the payment processors? Because there must be just like I'm just speculating here, but I would
Hmm.
imagine there's probably like a handful of payment processors that all the gaming studios use, right? Because they just want to offshoot that problem, right? They just want to focus on building games. So would it be wiser just to go after the payment processing side of it as your
Hmm.
Dash rated, or are you just going to go straight for the gaming studios?
Well, since you asked which one to choose, I would say both if I have that option to fulfill that ultimate goal. But right now, I would prefer having Dash being integrated in games, because that will have a lot of exposure. And because I know that uh, the gamers, they use different, not quite banks, but different applications like the Cash App that they have in the US that allow them to open accounts as well. Through them, they can send and receive money and buy games and stuff like that. But if Dash has a market share, I believe, in both being a payment processor and also being utilized as a in-game currency, or as a mean to buy gaming products or games themselves, as and being utilized in gaming economy. So I will say both, but I'll lean more towards the integration part right now.
Who's your biggest rival in Turkey in terms of cryptocurrency? Is there any other cryptocurrency team on the ground now pushing adoption, doing things, or is it just like a home run? Is it just like
Right now, there are a lot of different cryptocurrencies trying to create a community here. I'm not aware of. I'm not following most of them. I'm not aware of what's going on right now because I have a lot to deal with, and I'm so focused on my own trading and Dash Turkey. So most of them, I believe, I heard. Um, Last year, PundiX was here, I believe. They tried to start a community. Binance came here to start a community, and then Holochain was here. They have Ethereum developer meetings on a regular basis here as well in Turkey. Like I said, Turkey's pro crypto. That's that we're past that, in Turkey. So right now, but most of these communities are mainly they're using their currency as a speculative asset, not as using it on a daily basis, or using it on a for their daily activities and for payments or stuff like that. So mostly
so?
speculative now.
So what is the Dash Embassy Turkey team? Is it just you, or have you got other team members?
Yeah, right now we're right now it's me and our co-founder called Site Surger, and we also have a contractor working on the social media side. His name is Umit Dinçer. Right now we're three, but we're looking to have partners in the future. So we after these gaming exhibitions, I believe there will be a surge in partnerships for Dash Embassy Turkey.
Excellent. So, kind of like a masternode question,
Go ahead.
because you haven't seeked funding from the treasury for
Mm-hmm.
it seems like 2-3 months now. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
So what's going on? Have you just rolled over those funds? What's happening?
Yes, we try to, like I said, we try to see what's correct for Dash in Turkey. We could have just spend the funds and fail drastically, and then ask for new funds, and then fail again, and then ask for new funds. Instead, we try to see if this is the right fit for Dash, and we spend a little bit of our funds. We have most of the funds right now, so since we found I believe my team believes that we found the correct narrative for Dash here in Turkey, which is introducing Dash to the gaming community here, and then through them we will grow. Through them will come. Will we see real natural adoption, organic adoption? So I don't believe if you don't need funds, why submit a proposal? But after these, there's like the second biggest expo, which is gaming Istanbul. I believe that's at the end of January or the 1st of February 2020. We might attend that as well if we have funds left. If not, we'll just keep on going. We have an exit scam, so you guys don't have to worry if there are some master nodes going crazy about it. We just struggled. It's not that easy, I was talking with Omer from Dashcore, like
Biz dev
today
team.
actually. Yeah, business dev team. Like he knows this area of the world. Like this is Middle East, this is Eurasia. Turkey is in between Europe and Asia, so it's a very unique. It has a very unique location. So it's not. Yeah, basically, if I think like if an embassy doesn't need funds, why we should why ask for funds? People that are trying to bring new stuff for Dash should go for those funds. There will be time. There will come a time where I will ask for funding. But we have funds right now. Why should I ask for it?
Well, I do think that's an important point to establish. So you are actually in communications with the Dash Core Group biz dev team on what your operations and what you're doing. So
Yes,
you are talking to them about numerous things, whether it's exchanges. I guess this gaming event, right? Did they put you in contact with their coins to make this thing happen?
We're going to schedule that with Omer. Omer is very excited about this because he believes that this is the right narrative to promote Dash here in the Middle East and in Turkey, like as well. Like you said, like if there are other proposals that there were a couple that I liked but didn't get funded. I don't see the benefit for the treasury to fund projects that already have funds. And I have been 100% open with my reports, so you guys can check our reports on Dashwatch. Yeah, on Dashwatch. Basically that's it.
Oh, I think you might have just hit your microphone there because it just went a bit berserk. But it's back to normal now.
Really?
That's good.
It woke me up better than this coffee.
Yeah, apologies for that.
He got possessed. It's malfunctioning.
Oh, that's good. Like I wanted to make sure that you had the support and more importantly the resources and stuff as well because if you're educating people, you want to make sure if you're sending them to the dash.org website that it's translated and all the information there is needed if they want to follow up on it and want more information. And the fact that you translated it is excellent. Did you translate the mobile app?
Yes,
app
the
as well?
Android and iOS applications. I did that, and the website I translated that. I'm a contractor for Dash Core as well, so I'm full Dash. So no worries there. Like I'm like I have been a huge fan of Dash for since I started trading crypto. Since I started opening my eyes and learning this new market, this new paradigm, I'll say. It has been wonderful for me, yeah.
So in terms of, I know we've been talking about the gaming conference and stuff, but we've got to talk about merchant adoption. Do you think merchant adoption is really important to you right now? Or do you think people are going to be willing to spend Dash, or do you think they're going to be more focused on safe haven asset? Honestly, because I'm guessing that by the sounds of things, it sounds like you were looking at merchant adoption first, but as you said, you looked at exchanges, and now you're looking at the biz dev use cases and thinking, well, actually, I just need to follow the trend. That's the kind of message I'm getting from you. You're saying, well, look, there's a much bigger market here.
That's actually the point, because you will have much more exposure. You will have a lot of press interest, media interest when you're following the trend. And this is not only a trend that is specific to Turkey. It's a global trend that is going on right now. Esports, digital video games, and digital entertainment. VR, AR. Even air coins. It's like Pokemon Go, but you can collect real money. So
air coins. I've completely driven everyone I know out of my life who used to like me because I used air coins too much. But I've stopped since there's no more withdrawal function at the moment. So as soon as you can actually withdraw the coins, then I'll be back on the air coins train.
Yeah, that will be wonderful. Like people will be playing that and collecting Dash and actually utilizing Dash to pay their bills and buy games, or just hodl it. They can do anything they want with it. Just by playing a game. That's revolutionary. And for Turkey, I believe merchant integration will come. It's just too early, and we're not focusing on that right now, because we need to. I believe it's safe to take baby steps instead of trying, as the embassy, and since this is relatively new to Turkey, it's new to every country in the world, but it's quite like crypto is new to Turkey. And I think Dash Embassy Turkey needs to learn how to get up and walk properly instead of trying to, like I said, sprint or run. Those days will come. But right now, people have to understand how this works, how this isn't like a shit coin. This isn't like anything that is going away. Crypto is here to stay. Bitcoin is here to stay. Dash is here to stay. Cryptocurrency isn't going anywhere. This is the future. They have to understand that. They have to get into the mentality first. And the best way to introduce this is from word of mouth, I believe. Like if you have a good experience with Dash, even if you're a hodler and then you made money with Dash, you paid your rent with Dash, you will say, hey, Mark, have you ever heard about Dash? I made this much of money, or I can buy whatever I want. I can send funds to my cousin in Germany, and he's sending funds back and stuff like that, and we're just paying nothing. This is huge. Just like the sanctions that are going on with Iran right now. Globally, the world is going into a very depressing, state. Yeah. But I don't know. Like, there's a lot of opportunity. There's a lot of potential, and we just have to find the right way, the right path to unlock this potential. And I think introducing it to young generation, which are they're native, they're digital natives. One of the merchants that are accepting Dash right now is Mobile Tech. They're located in Istanbul. They're one of the recent ones that we had them on board. The ones that we had on board. I just showed them how the app works and stuff like that. They were like, "Bingo! This is huge. This is revolutionary. This is better than whatever we had before." That they get it, but like the boomers and stuff it gets quite hard with them.
Yeah, they may
maybe at the event. I mean, the Aircoins thing is really great, and please do take photos, videos, and keep Joel informed. So hopefully we can get an article on it and do some coverage, because it sounds like you've got a lot going on there.
Yeah, we can arrange a live chat during the exhibition as well,
and do some instant respendable international payments, borderless payments, right, to demonstrate it live at the event. I mean, we could do it right now on the podcast. From the UK to Turkey to the US.
Yeah, let's do it actually. Yeah, pull out your QR, man. Come on, let's do this.
All right.
What do you reckon? think this is a
That's
good
how
idea?
forward of you.
We haven't planned this or anything.
Yes, this was
this a
not
good
planned. Here we
idea?
go. Here's mine. Can you see
Okay.
it? Oh, I
Well,
need the brightness. I need to change the brightness. This is how you really know I didn't plan it.
Right.
So-
Okay.
Yes, and
Mm.
anyone watching this around the world, please send me some too. I'm poor.
Hey, Joel, do
Did
it
you get
again?
it?
No, just
No,
do it
no,
again.
no, just yeah. Let's see. There you go.
So-
okay.
so
All
you-
right, is Mark making me ball now too?
So
$10,000. Oops, no, that's a lot of zeros.
So do
I
you,
could
do you
do
want
with
me
some
to,
zeros.
do you want me to send it to Joel, or should?
No,
or
I'm
do you
sending
wanna
it to
send
Joel. Yeah, I'm sending
Okay.
it to Joel.
All right.
All right, I got
Okay.
it.
Send.
$1 US worth. Who wants next? Who's next?
Right. Okay. I guess that would be me.
Is there anyone on the chat that would like to jump in on this trust chain?
All right, Joel, can you see?
Yes, I can see. Hold on. Beep.
So shout out to my Turkish crypto fans over here, like the Dash people from Turkey. If they're, if they're watching right now, like you can send Dash, like you see.
Boom.
So Joel, where are you located
Instant,
at?
baby.
All right.
So what
Send it to Omer.
you just sent me $11.
Oh, oops! I put one extra one on there. Sorry.
All right, Omar.
Consider it an extra $10 apology tip for having to put up with me on a daily basis.
Right. So Joel, do you just want to explain to the podcast listeners what's going on now, just in case they're not watching the live video stream of what we're doing? Oh, I can't get Omar's code. Yeah.
Is it out of focus?
Yeah, a little bit. One sec. Come on, you can do it.
Let's see if this works.
It won't let me do it.
I almost want to send you some more too, but hey,
let's try it again. Let's keep going. Let's do this. Come on,
camera focus.
Now, if this was Evolution usernames, this would be a whole lot easier.
Yeah. There you go.
Let's try it again. One sec.
One more time.
I'll put you on the big. I'll put you on the big screen now. Let's see if we can get this going. Do it. It won't bloody do it. It's too blurry. Oh no.
Yeah. Try it now.
Are you sure you're an
maybe.
Android user? That's usually the first problem when there's an issue. They're not
No, because I scanned your code with no problems, Joel.
All right, do it. Let me switch.
Should I send
I'll
it
just
back to
send it back.
Joel?
No, yeah, put it there. I'll send it back to you.
Yeah,
You
sure.
put it back on the screen. I can grab it.
Okay, one sec. Here we go.
3, 2.
Should okay. Like.
Oh
I
wait,
have an
you
idea.
moved it. It was grabbing it.
Mark, just try it
Okay.
right now. Oops.
Now I can see your settings. Oh, now I can see your private
No,
chats.
this will be a
now I can see porn.
successful chain. This will be a successful chain, Joel. Just wait. Okay, Mark.
Okay.
Full brightness.
I'll scan it just in case.
Come on, focus.
Oh, you moved it. Oh, we've hit a snag in the system. It's not picking up the.
So it's not just me, right? Oh no.
No, it's not just you. It's slightly too blurry, and for some reason, here, move it back. Move it away from the camera, and then just stop it. Stop. Let it focus. I'm picking up some signs of life here. No,
Don't make me laugh, man. Don't make me laugh.
Ha ha ha. It's gonna take us back to the Bitcoin transaction.
No. Okay, Joel.
Okay, I received that. Perfect.
Let me send some back to you because you
All right.
sent me
let's make
$11, man.
Received. Let me bring
Yeah.
the brightness
Okay,
down.
good. Now, let's make this fast, Mark. Ready? 3, 2, 1, go.
Come on. Don't do this now. Hey, I got it.
There you
I got it.
Okay.
Right, let's do this. $11.
Man, this was fun.
Okay.
We should do this globally,
Send. And the great.
With better connections and better
There you go.
detail, and once we have usernames and I'm
got
just
it?
saying. Yeah, I got it back. Yay!
That's the cool thing I really love about the Android wallet because I've got the fingerprint thing on there as well, so I don't even have to type in the PIN. I can just do my little finger thing, and it's just like $11.
Yeah.
Boom, boom, instantly respendable. Well, I apologize to our audio listeners there. That probably wasn't the most interesting 2 minutes of your life, but hopefully, if we do a live video stream at the gaming event, we'll have a better setup and a better system.
My camera just failed me, man. It's like out of focus for some reason. I don't know.
That's all right. No worries. Cool. So, right. So right now you're just focused on this gaming event. But after that, is there anything beyond on that, or are you just going to hopefully foster some good working relationships and see what you can build upon?
I believe that there will be a lot of interest for Dash during this gaming event, and I'll be meeting with a lot of leads during this event. We will do a lot of networking, and after that we'll go and meet them in person, sit down and talk about Dash and stuff like that. And I also plan to attend the other gaming conferences as well. So we're going to tackle this industry, and we're not gonna quit this time. E-commerce was a hard rock to lift, and merchant integration is it's a heavy rock, not a very it's not that heavy, but we need to make some gains in order to lift that one up as well. So like Joel can teach us some moves and stuff like that in order to do that.
Of course.
But first,
but that's a
go ahead.
Yeah, that's a good example, because this is uncharted territory. Some of it's uncharted territory in that the Dash DAO is largely an amateur space where people just, in the crypto world, where people aren't experts in, say, the payments industry, in the banking industry, and things like that. They're mostly either coders or enthusiasts from other backgrounds. And so they don't exactly know what to do. But also a lot of it is we have this grasp of this technology, and the real secret of experts, there's no such thing as an expert. What do they say? You're only as good as your last fight. You're only as good as your last success. You can be a payments industry expert, work for a major credit card processing company, think you know everything, and then jump and start working for Dash, and all of a sudden you're like, oh no, it's not working out like I thought. Yeah. And you have to, it's that attitude of being able to learn. And so that reminds me of like the merchant adoption efforts on the ground. Like, for example, here in New Hampshire, it's like a lot of people know about cryptocurrency. A lot of people are very amenable to accepting it. It's hard to get them to just take Dash. Oh yeah, I want to take the Bitcoin and the other. Like, okay, so you mostly sell them on like Bitcoin Cash, and Dash together, and then 80-90% of their customers just use Dash. That's how it. And then over time they learn. That's different. Then you get to places like Latin America where it's like, well, let's use it as a new payment thing. And they're like, okay, well, people just seem to want to buy it in, say, Venezuela to hold because the money's collapsing. It's not so much of the payment pain point. You're not getting so many recurring users spending it in merchants. You're getting some, it's working. But then you realize the parking garages. That's where it's a huge problem, because people are waiting an hour to get out of the parking garage because the old payment systems are terrible. And then now you have that mall in Merida in the West that has implemented Dash parking for their parking garage thing. And they actually implemented a system where there's on the ground people P2P sell you Dash. So you go buy your Dash, pay it right there, and go. It's an all-in-one little solution. And they're pulling great transaction volumes, as many as like whole countries worth of payment processors are recording in their merchants, all without treasury funding. And so that was that looking around, try to find the right part, and then finally, this works. It's just like, exchanges, merchants, they're not just that interested. Gaming, they're really interested. Let's jump on that. And also, as a example, I think that every Dash project should have, I would say, the humility to admit the first thing they tried was not working the best, and they're going to try something else, as well as it's not like, I failed, I can't say that or lose funding. It's like there's a lot of that going on. And also I would encourage as like a lesson, everyone who wants to start working for Dash professionally, I noticed this with the DAO, everyone has an idea and they're thinking, this is an awesome idea, I'm going to do a proposal. A lot of times they should wait to do a proposal and try to learn the grant, get on the ground, and actually start doing the work. And they're like, look, I'm doing the work. I'm pulling in results today and have been for months. But I want to quit my job to do this. I want to hire people. I want to do whatever. I want to expand what is already working, and then I go for a proposal. I think that that's kind of a valuable lesson people can learn. I also known as Mark knows, the Dash Force way, of where we were just community volunteers. Brian started the proposal to just incentivize online engagement, and then it just ended up being, okay, well, we need this, we need that. And then go from that to part-time, to then full-time, to then like running stuff. And then there we go. Here we are.
Yeah, it was just like that during when I was introduced to Dash back in 2017 as well. The network and the community was expecting you to bring value to Dash. But since you're so excited about the project, but this is relatively new, you don't know where to start. Like some people tried to go big, but since like I said in the beginning of our podcast, even in trading, like I've been trading for 10 years now. I've traded derivatives, futures, forward contracts, crypto, gold. I was a gold bug back in the day. Still is kind of.
Of course, most of us good people were.
Yeah. I started to make money, real, good money when I was 8 years into it. You just have to be patient about it. I believe like our network is, since crypto is so fast, people are impatient about getting real results, because real results don't come in a day. You have to work towards it. You have to like, if you don't have a strong base, even though you go up and with one shake you can just demolish your entire whatever you built. Here with Dash Turkey, with our proposal, of course we could ask for funds every 2 to 3 months and try to jump on this project, do this project. We were even planning to do like Dash and coffee, meetings and stuff, but
Splash and Dash.
Yeah, stuff like that. But there is a bigger, there are bigger opportunities that I believe needs to be exposed to the network, and I believe that we're trying to tackle one of those, which is gaming. And I'm just going to say to the masternode owner to be patient, to show patience and compassion to the real people that are trying to add value to this network. It doesn't come in a day. We all know this. We have been here for years. I've been in crypto for 3.5 years. Nothing happens in one day. It doesn't work like that.
It sounds like
yes.
It sounds like you need a solution in Turkey to be able to pay your household bills with cryptocurrency. Is there any services like that? We saw a service like that in Brazil, for example. I think it was Coin BR, but the way you pay household bills there, they send like barcodes and stuff like this, so it was quite easy.
Money too.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that was so Coin BR was like last year, I believe. We did an article on that, and Car Money very recently, also yes, in Brazil.
And even before that, Living Room of Satoshi in Australia.
Yeah. So it seems like Turkey needs this option because, right as you say, with the inflation, everything going on right now, of course they're looking at cryptocurrencies as a safe haven asset. They don't want to put their eggs in one basket with gold, even though it seems to be quite popular right now there.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, if you need to make payments, especially remittances internationally, this seems to be the way forward. So I don't know if there are any services like that available. Coin BR, for example, is actually an exchange as well that just offers that as an extra additional thing. So that might be a conversation to have. Or I don't know, is this something that you've considered or looked into?
Yeah, sure. When we first started, I believe it was our proposal was up on Dash Central during March, I believe, and in April we got funded and we started to tackle the bill payment processing space. But we hired an engineer, a developer, to create a what's it called, like a demo version of the payment processing for bills, for electricity bills, gas bills, whatever you need. You can pay through Dash, but it's very slow and it needs time, and we haven't seen a lot of interest to it. But it might be used later in the near future. But like I said, like I believe whatever, like you have to go for the I believe like the most beautiful girl in the room, and that's gaming right now for Turkey. Like you aim for that, and even if you don't get that, you'll end up at least flirting with her, and that's sometimes enough.
As long as
Yes,
it's
and
accessible.
sometimes the flirt, sometimes the very act of going at it builds your confidence a little bit. Like, well, it didn't quite get there, but I got a little smile back, and then that makes me feel better about this. Or someone else can just see you out there, and it's like, oh, I saw this person talking to this big thing. Now they're more serious. They're not just like coming at the bottom like some random person. So I think that's very important.
And also, like, there's a lot of immigrants in Europe as well, the Turkish immigrants that send money on a regular basis to their relatives in Turkey. There's huge space for remittance here as well. I believe, if I'm not wrong, these numbers are coming from my head, but like I believe $7-8 billion have been sent out of Germany from immigrants to their country, to their relatives in other countries, and maybe 60-70% of this number is Turkish, is Turks,
Yeah, I mean, there's a huge Turkish population in Berlin when I was there. I was actually quite surprised and taken back by it.
Yeah.
Right now we're
Big
having
stuff.
ATMs popping up in a lot of locations, and they're accepting Dash. Once people here learn about Dash, they their relatives, their family members, or their friends can send them Dash, and then they can just. Right now, I believe it's only you can only buy from the ATMs, but they will add an option to cash out your Dash as well at the ATM. So once we have that, that will open a door to for remittance.
You've raised a really good point there. So one, you've said, okay, there's exchanges, so people in Turkey can actually buy Dash from exchanges. However, sorry to put
let
you
me
on.
add a quick note. Let me add, like, you can buy Dash on exchanges. You can trade Dash on exchanges. There are a couple exchanges that are listing Dash, USDT pairs, and Dash Turkish lira pairs. So we have that. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah,
but
they can speculate on that.
Here's the ultimate thing, and I
There you
don't know
go.
the answer to this, so I'm hoping you do. So sorry to put you on the spot,
No, go
but
ahead.
as you said, you help translate both the iOS and Android app. With the Uphold integration, do you know if Uphold supports the Turkish lira? Because if you're there at the event and you're getting people to install wallets, and of course now with Uphold integrated as of this week in the iOS app as well, then we need to make sure that the Turkish lira is supported with Uphold. Does anyone know if that is the case?
I don't think they support it. I'm just I looked it up before, but I can't recall perfectly.
Yeah, because
but
I know there's a few countries that.
Yeah, there's a few countries that they support, and I hope that they have Turkey. It will be easier for us to tackle that as well. But I'm not sure.
Yeah, because I think we should get that established, and if not, we should speak to Dashcore BizDev to speak to Uphold and see if we can get that sorted. If not, we'll have to find another solution.
Yeah,
and
right
get
now,
it integrated into the app.
Yeah, like we were trying to even like we had a couple meetings with the biggest like the Coinbase of Turkey, like the biggest exchanges here to list Dash, and this is still an ongoing process. So once they have Dash listed on their platforms, the market cap, the volume that has been trading here in Turkey will increase, and the exposure will increase. But it will take some time. Right now, they're trying to figure out things. But we also try to reach out to other exchanges that are interested in the Turkish market. So what we did is we translated their websites, their entire system, their entire platform, their applications into Turkish. And that right now, we have BTC Bit accepting credit card payments from Turkey. You can buy Dash using your credit card, and they have a Turkish lira pair. So quite unique. You can buy Dash with your credit card, which you can't do with any other exchange here in Turkey. So we're not only focusing on local companies, exchanges, we're also trying to have big names or whoever's interested in this in the crypto space here in Turkey. Like, we're helping them to add some value here as well.
Right. I've just had a quick look on the Support Uphold website, and it appears that Turkey is not supported, but it looks like I've just found some random articles. So it may potentially be outdated. So I think we need to double check that at some point. But I do think that's an important conversation to have moving forward. Why? Because Turkey sounds like it's prime for Dash and cryptocurrency right now. In the UK, in America, it's not necessity to use cryptocurrency, but we've got opportunity right now, and you've got to strike while the iron's hot. And we need to make moves and make things happen. So yeah, Omer, keep moving forward.
Yeah, sure. Like, there's a lot of opportunity here because, like, Turkey is like no Venezuela. Turkey is no Brazil. Turkey, like I said, is Istanbul is like one of the most. It's a trading hub. It's a cultural hub. It's like in those historical times, it was says that Istanbul is like central of what is it called? Like humanity. It's a very unique location.
It's very merchant centric, isn't it?
Merchant centralized. Yeah, there you go. Also, like I apologize from the our audience right now. It's 11:30 p.m. If I look, like shit right now, like I apologize for that. Just really tired.
Right. They're used to seeing me. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Because it's always 11:30 p.m. his time, even in the morning.
Yeah, with the ATMs popping up right now, we as Dash Turkey, we're trying to get those ATMs to have zero fees. Yep, you heard it, zero fees for a certain time, just to promote Dash to be used with those ATMs. So a lot of we're also trying to push Dash with these exchanges as well, but it needs time. It will come. It's a ongoing process. We're trying to get things done as fast as we can here.
Right. Well, as you mentioned the time, perhaps we should start to think to conclude the podcast.
I do want to say something about when proposal owners try and try again and they don't work, and then finally they figure something out. One of the things our friends from the German region, Dash Embassy and Associates, have had that gone through that life cycle of trying stuff, it didn't work, trying other things until finally they found their groove. And now, out of just like a random like chat, wouldn't it be awesome? We should do it if. Now the Dash Convention Europe is live at dashconvention.com. Fantastic. It started as the Dashtoberfest idea. Let's just do Oktoberfest and do a Dashy thing. But now it's a proper convention with lots of sponsors, lots of things like that. It's going to be huge at the end of September in Zurich. And then there's the invite-only event in Munich for Oktoberfest, for Dashtoberfest. So make sure you're going to be at the conference. Mark, are you going to be there?
Absolutely. I've not booked my accommodation yet. So
Omer, are you going to be there?
I'm planning to be there. Yes, I'll try anything in my power to not miss it.
But of course, I'm going to be there. I'm meant to be hosting the event and introducing all the keynote speakers.
Well, I mean, all I have to do is just have Jan Heinrich Meyer just shave his head, and then he can do it.
I can do it remotely, right?
Yes. So come to the conference. It's going to be a good time. Tickets are cheap, but they're going quickly, and it's going to be. We haven't had a Dash, so as far as like events and stuff, right? there's a million crypto conferences, a million Bitcoin conferences, which is another way of saying crypto conference, and exclusive, like coin exclusive events. Only for just a couple are there ever any. And Dash had this big open house for the new offices in Scottsdale, Arizona, back in spring 2017, which is when Evan told me to go work for Dash Force, essentially. But whatever, that's a different story. Then later that year, was it late 2017 that the conference in London happened, Mark?
Sorry, say that again. I was just
was
reading
it
the live
in
chat.
late 2017?
What's that when we started Dash Force?
No, late 2017 was at the London conference.
Oh, so the open house was the 30th of March, and the London conference was in September 2017. Rain Man.
Yeah, so that was like a first big wow, like Dash has arrived, things are going on, it's happening. And unfortunately I wasn't at that one, but whatever, you can't win them all. And then all of 2018, just like tumbleweeds, like, you know, obviously the price was a big tumble, but in addition to that, there just wasn't that much initiative. It was like, oh, well, let's wait until the Dash platform is out and we'll do a big thing. And then, you know, just stuff happened. And then finally it's like the community, again, the first one was Dash Core Group moving into the Scottsdale offices. The second one was Dash Core Group hiring Keynote to run a thing in London. And then now is just the community, spearheaded by Fabio of Bitalo and of course Jan and the Dash Embassy, just decided to create this conference. And now it seems like it's going to be hopping. And if this happens, I don't know what the next step is going to be. Maybe next year we're going to have some big Dash conference to highlight Dash platform or something like that. But if not, or even in addition to, I'm always thinking of Dash Fest, New Hampshire.
New Dash year.
But anyway, you got to come to the Dash Convention. DashConvention.com, DashConvention.com, DashConvention.com. Now, of course, if you enjoy this podcast, we have an audio-only version. So that's going to come out on tomorrow. We do a post on dashnews.org, and you get the audio-only version, SoundCloud, iTunes, Stitcher, all the other good stuff. And don't forget, of course, to what is the magic for? Like, comment, share, subscribe. You got to do all of them. You already subscribed? Well, you can unsubscribe just to resubscribe. You better not unsubscribe permanently.
Yeah, don't do that.
Like, comment, share, and subscribe. We do read the comments, right? Including the live chat. The live chat's always on my screen here. I'm always watching it. Sometimes you see me say stuff. Sometimes I'm just doing other stuff, but it's okay. I'm always watching. The comments on the video. Hey, you guys are doing great. This and that. Hey, you know, can you give Mark some caffeine? He has too little energy. No one's ever going to say that. Like, whatever comments, we read them. Okay. All right. So make sure you do that. And guess what? You know what time it is?
What time is it?
I mean, almost midnight your time, but
yeah,
it's time for the after party, which is just like this, except it's not 3 of us lovely souls. It's 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, way more. All just hanging out, talking stuff, just having a good time and talking about work. In fact, that's where Dash Convention came from. The after party. Isn't that right, Mark?
Yeah, I think it was on the podcast after party, just joking around with Fabio.
Yeah, we're just chatting around in the after party. Someone said Dashtoberfest, and oh, I think that's cool. And then like, oh, what are we gonna do? Dashtoberfest? We should do it. Yeah, like that was a good idea. But hey, I got us some room under one of the tents. Oh wow, oh, I can do a conference. Oh, we got. And then it all happens. So if you want to be in on the next big thing to happen in Dash, you need to be in the after party. Again, not necessarily, but it's a good shot. After party. So how you do that, you go to the Dash Talk Discord, which is at staydashy.com. Is it there? There it is. It popped up in the live chat. Go in there, start asking about the after party. And with that, we're going to sign off. Thanks, Omar, very much.
Can I add a little bit? Can I add a little note?
Oh yeah.
Like right now
add
we're
a sauce to it.
Right now we're we have like a weekly giveaway. Dash Turkey is having a weekly Dash giveaway. So the only thing that you guys have to do is follow us on certain social media platforms. Check our Twitter page. You can find a link there, and if Joel, you can share that link. Anyone from anywhere we're open to. Just
so your dashturk.org is your social media linked to that website?
Yes.
Okay, so to enter in this giveaway contest, they have to follow your social media.
Yes, there is we use Gleam for this giveaway, so it requires you to follow us, so you guys can stay updated on what's going on with Dash Turkey. So don't forget that you might end up being the winner, and we will send you your Dash.
Excellent. Okay, so
this is Friday. We do it every Friday. So
if there is anyone from Turkey watching this, or anyone from the community that wants to get in contact with you, you are also on the stay-u.com Discord as Crypto Omer, correct? That's your user handle?
That is correct.
And obviously Omer with the E, not an A, in the middle.
Yes. Yeah. Omer with the E, and the O is a 0 instead of an O, because it has to be cryptographic.
like the other Omer from Crypto's News, Omar Bam and Over Batan.
Yeah, so many good Omars.
Yeah, that had to end up to be a very funny coincidence. That was silly.
Excellent.
He's Crypto. I'm Crypto Matt. Yeah.
Excellent. Well, thank you for listening, watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. This was episode 117 of the Dash News podcast. I hope you all have a fantastic weekend. Stay positive, stay humble, but most importantly, stay dashy. Have a good weekend, everyone. Take care. Bye.
Bye-bye.